Hello viewers, today I am going to discuss nucleophilic addition reaction of carbonyl compounds. So in aldehydes and ketones, the carbonyl group is polar in nature due to the greater electronegativity of oxygen atom in comparison to carbon. So this is the carbonyl group, C double bond O. Oxygen is more electronegative than carbon. So the electron density is shifted more towards the oxygen. So oxygen will attain partial negative charge and carbon will attain partial positive charge. And therefore the nucleophile means nucleus loving, that is positive charge loving. So nucleophile will attack at the carbonyl carbon, which is the electrophilic center, and the pi electron density will be shifting towards the oxygen. So it is the example of nucleophilic addition reactions, and hence aldehydes and ketones undergo nucleophilic addition reactions. Now before moving further, we should know what is the reactivity of carbonyl compounds. So let's discuss that which carbonyl compound is more reactive and which carbonyl compound is less reactive. Now let's take first example. Which of the two aldehydes or ketones is more reactive? Answer is aldehydes are more reactive than ketones. Now why? Why aldehydes are more reactive than ketones? There are two reasons which explain the higher reactivity of aldehydes in comparison to ketones. The first is steric factor. As the name indicates, steric factor means steric hindrance. Now compare the two aldehydes and ketones. In case of aldehyde, one alkyl group is attached to the carbonyl group and another is hydrogen. While in case of ketone, two alkyl groups are attached. So when the nucleophile attacks at this carbonyl center, then in the case of ketone, the steric hindrance is due to the presence of these two alkyl groups. While in case of aldehyde, the steric hindrance is only through one alkyl group because another one is the hydrogen. So the attack of the reagent at carbonyl carbon of aldehyde is more easier than here it is in this case because of the steric hindrance. So first factor is steric hindrance, and in ketones also more is the size or bigger is the alkyl group, the attack of the nucleophile becomes difficult. Now the second reason is inductive effect. I think all of you know the inductive effect of alkyl group is plus I, that is it is electron releasing. So alkyl group is electron releasing group, so it releases electron density towards the carbon. Carbon is having partial positive charge, so these alkyl group reduces the partial positive charge by releasing the electrons. In case of aldehyde, one alkyl group is there, so reduction of partial positive charge is less. While in case of ketone, two alkyl groups are there and therefore both of these alkyl groups by the plus I effect releases electrons towards the carbon and therefore the positive charge, the partial positive charge on the carbon is lesser as compared to the partial positive charge on this carbon of the aldehyde, and therefore this carbon is having more partial positive charge than the carbonyl carbon of the ketone, and therefore it is a stronger electrophile, and hence the nucleophile, the rate of the attack of the nucleophile is faster here. Therefore aldehydes are more reactive than ketones. So either the steric factor or the inductive effect, both of these effects explain that the aldehydes are more reactive than ketones. Now let's discuss another example. Which of the two, formaldehyde and benzaldehyde, is more reactive? So this is formaldehyde, this is benzaldehyde. Now we have seen that more is the partial positive charge density on the carbonyl carbon. Stronger is the electrophile and hence more reactive is the electrophile because the attack of the nucleophile at the carbonyl carbon will be fast. Okay. So now compare the two. In this case, in benzaldehyde, phenyl ring is attached. Okay. Now, what is the effect of phenyl ring? Phenyl ring is showing resonance effect plus R effect. By the resonance, the phenyl ring is reducing the partial positive charge on the carbonyl carbon. Okay. So, first see the resonating structures. So, these are the resonating structures of benzaldehyde. The pi electron density will be shifting towards the oxygen because oxygen is more electronegative. So pi electrons will be shifting towards the oxygen, and therefore this pi electron of the benzene ring will shift in between the two carbons. Simple conjugated system. This bond shifts here, so this bond shifts here. Now what will happen? This pi bond is shifting towards the oxygen, so oxygen will attain negative charge, as you can see here, O negative. This is single bond. Now since this pi electron density moves here, so there is double bond here. So see, double bond C. And since this pi bond shifts here, so here there is a double bond, and this pi bond shifts against this carbon, away from this carbon, and therefore this carbon will have positive charge. I hope this is clear to all of you. And now this positive charge will be delocalized over whole of the benzene ring. See how the pi electrons will be shifting here. So here single bond, here double bond. Since electrons are moving towards this carbon, so this positive charge becomes neutral. And since the electrons are moving away from this carbon, so this carbon will attain positive charge. So you see here positive, single bond, double bond. So positive, single bond, double bond. Now this positive charge is in conjugation with this double bond. So the pi bond will be shifting here. So what will happen? This is single bond, this is double bond, this is the neutral. There is a neutralization of this charge because there is a positive charge and pi electrons are moving here. So it becomes neutral. And since pi electrons are moving away from this carbon, so this carbon will have positive charge. So you see here positive, then single bond and double bond. Now this positive charge is now in conjugation with this double bond. So see here, the negative charge comes back between oxygen and carbon. The pi electrons will be shifting here. So look at the structure. Since the pi electrons are shifting here, so there is a double bond here with the neutralization of positive charge. This is single bond. This is double bond. And the negative charge is shifting here. So there is no charge here. So O double bond C, single bond in this. So you can see that by these resonating structures, benzene is giving electrons towards the carbonyl carbon. Therefore, benzene is, this phenyl ring is reducing the partial positive charge of the carbonyl carbon of benzaldehyde. That means this carbon is more electrophilic than this carbon, and therefore this is more reactive than, the formaldehyde is more reactive than benzaldehyde. I hope I am clear to all of you. Now let's see the third example. The reaction, the comparison of reactivity between acetaldehyde and benzaldehyde. Again, we have to find out the intensity of the partial positive charge or the density of the partial positive charge. More is the partial positive charge, stronger will be the electrophile, and hence higher will be the reactivity. Now see acetaldehyde and benzaldehyde. In acetaldehyde, this methyl group is reducing the partial positive charge by the inductive effect, plus I effect of the methyl group. It is electron releasing, so it is reducing the partial positive charge by inductive effect. While we have seen that the phenyl ring will reduces the partial positive charge by resonance. So here there is plus I effect, here there is plus R effect. So this is reducing the partial positive charge by plus R, this is reducing the partial positive charge by plus I. Now when we compare the two, resonance effect is more dominating than inductive effect except halogens. So here we see that the resonance effect is dominating, means the reduction of positive charge on carbonyl carbon of benzaldehyde is more than that of the acetaldehyde. Thus, if you compare the two, in this case the partial positive charge is more. Thus, carbonyl group of acetaldehyde is more electrophilic than benzaldehyde, and therefore, if you compare the reactivity, acetaldehyde is more reactive than benzaldehyde. Now, this clearly shows that aromatic aldehydes are less reactive than corresponding aliphatic aldehydes. Same reason. This is a one example under this category. While all aromatic aldehydes are less reactive than corresponding aliphatic aldehydes because of the resonance effect of the benzene ring. And not only this, Same thing is applicable for ketones as well. All aromatic ketones are less reactive than the corresponding aliphatic ketones. Okay. Now discuss few more examples. Let us take if you have to compare between the two. Now out of the two, which is more reactive? Again, see here methyl group is attached. So methyl group due to plus I effect reduces the partial positive charge on this carbon, and therefore this carbon is more electrophilic and hence more reactive. So formaldehyde, this is more reactive than acetaldehyde. Okay, another example. See, now this is very clear. It is acetaldehyde, it is acetone, so it is aldehyde. This is ketone. We have seen aldehydes are more reactive than ketones because of both the inductive effect and steric effect, and therefore acetaldehyde is more reactive than acetone. Another example. Here, both of them are ketones. Yes, while in this case, steric hindrance is more because of the bulkier size of the alkyl group. So steric hindrance is more. So attack of the nucleophile is more difficult in this case than it is here, and therefore this is more reactive than this. Okay. Another example. Benzaldehyde, acetophenone and benzophenone. So first write down the structure of all the three compounds. This is benzaldehyde, this is acetophenone, and this is benzophenone. Okay. Now, if we have to do the comparison of their reactivity, where is the difference? This group, benzoyl group, is common in all the cases. Differences in benzaldehyde, it is hydrogen. In acetophenone, it is methyl. In benzophenone, it is benzene ring. Okay. Now we have discussed all the examples. Methyl group is reducing the partial positive charge by inductive effect, plus I effect. Phenyl ring is reducing the partial positive charge by resonance effect, that is plus R effect. And plus R effect is more dominating than plus I effect. So reduction of partial positive charge is maximum here than it is in this case. And here it is the least. And therefore this carbonyl carbon is a stronger electrophile than this carbonyl carbon, then this carbonyl carbon. So if we compare the reactivity, benzaldehyde is most reactive because here the carbonyl carbon is having the highest partial positive charge out of the three. And this carbonyl carbon is having least partial positive charge because of the resonance by both of the phenyl rings. So this is the order of reactivity. And now the last example. If we compare it, the para-methyl acetophenone with para-nitroacetophenone. First write down the structure of both of the compounds. Again, here this acetophenone unit is same in both the cases. Difference is at the para substitution. In first case it is methyl group. In second case it is nitro group. So we have to see the role of the methyl group and nitro group on this. Methyl group is electron releasing group. Here it is electron releasing because of the hyperconjugation. Whenever the methyl group is attached to a benzene ring, it shows hyperconjugation. So this methyl group by hyperconjugation releases the electrons. Since it releases the electrons, so benzene ring is electron rich, which in turn releases the electron towards the carbon by the resonance, and therefore the partial positive charge is reduced. While in this case, the nitro group is a very powerful electron withdrawing group both by the inductive effect as well as by the resonance effect. Nitro group shows minus I and minus R effect. So nitro group pulls electrons from the benzene ring and therefore intensifies the partial positive charge present on the carbonyl carbon. Okay, so in this case, in this carbon, the partial positive charge is more because nitro group is a very powerful electron withdrawing group. So here they will reduce the partial positive charge. While in this case, methyl group, due to the electron releasing effect due to hyperconjugation, partial positive charge is less here. So here partial positive charge is more than in this case. So this carbonyl carbon is a stronger electrophile, and therefore if we compare the reactivity, this is more reactive than this. Now we'll discuss the mechanism of nucleophilic addition reactions. This is carbonyl compound, carbonyl carbon, carbonyl group. Okay. Here the carbon atom is sp2 hybridized. And we know that sp2 hybridized carbon atoms are planar in nature. So this is planar compound. This group is planar in nature. So the nucleophile can attack either from the above or below the plane of the carbonyl group. So nucleophile can attack from here, from above the plane or from below the plane. And the pi electrons will be shifting towards the oxygen. So this carbon is sp2 hybridized. When nucleophile attacks here, the first step, this is the slow step, a tetrahedral intermediate is formed. Here there are 3 bonds, you can see, and 1 pi bond, 3 sigma bonds and 1 pi bond, so sp2. Here 4 sigma bonds, so it is sp3. So from sp2, hybridization changes to sp3. So a tetrahedral intermediate is formed. It is a slow step. Okay. Now this tetrahedral intermediate then picks up the proton. It takes the proton from either the reaction mixture or from the reagent and gets converted into OH. So addition product is formed. Is it okay? You can see here nucleophile attacks at the carbonyl carbon, sp2 molecule, planar structure, gets converted into sp3, tetrahedral intermediate, and then this O negative will take up the proton from the reaction medium or from the reagent. It is a comparatively faster reaction and it gets converted into OH. So addition product is formed. So if I have to write down the reaction, this is the carbonyl compound. When it reacts with HZ, addition will take place. Here Z is having partial negative charge, H is having partial positive charge. So Z is nucleophile. So Z will form bond with the carbon. This is single bond O and H will attach to the O. So COH and Z. So this is the addition product. Okay. So this is the general nucleophilic addition reaction, generalization of the nucleophilic addition reactions in case of carbonyl compounds. Let's discuss the mechanism. Nucleophilic addition reaction generally takes place either in the acidic medium, in presence of acid as a catalyst, or in presence of base as a catalyst. I'll discuss both of them one by one and then I will explain you that how the acid and bases catalyzes the reaction. Okay, now what is the first step? This is the carbonyl group. When you add proton into it, oxygen gets protonated. This means oxygen takes proton. Oxygen is neutral. When it's given its electrons to the proton, so there is a bond between O and H and oxygen will attain positive charge. So you can see here oxygen is having positive charge and bond with the hydrogen atom. Then oxygen being electronegative cannot have the positive charge, or you can say positive charge on the oxygen is not stable due to the high electronegativity of the oxygen. So pi electrons will be shifting towards the oxygen. So now there is a single bond. Oxygen is having positive charge and pi electrons are shifting. So oxygen becomes neutral and carbon will have complete positive charge. And now the nucleophile Z negative will attack here. So it is OH and Z. Okay. Now how the acid catalyzing the reaction? If we have not taken the acid, the proton, okay, then nucleophile has to attack on the carbon which is having partial positive charge. If the nucleophile is attacking on this carbon is having partial positive charge. Here the nucleophile is attacking on the carbon which is having complete positive charge. Okay. So which of the two is a stronger electrophile? This one, because here the carbon is having a complete positive charge. So the rate of reaction is increasing by increasing the electrophilicity of the carbonyl carbon. So what is the role of the acid? Acid is increasing the electrophilicity of this carbon. So from partial positive, it is getting converted into complete positive charge. So it is increasing the electrophilicity of the carbon and therefore the rate of reaction increases. Now the base catalyzed nucleophilic addition reactions. Here HZ, as I told you, Z is having partial negative charge, H is having partial positive charge. So if the medium is basic, so in presence of basic medium, basic OH negative will take proton and get converted into water, and Z is getting converted into Z negative. So Z negative nucleophile is formed. Now if this Z partial negative attacks on the carbonyl carbon, and in one case Z negative is attacking on the carbonyl carbon. So out of the two, Z negative is a stronger nucleophile than this Z partial negative, and therefore the rate of reaction increases. So what is the role of the base? Base will increases the nucleophilicity of the nucleophile. So this Z negative will attack on the carbonyl carbon, and the double bond will be shifting towards the oxygen. So there is a bond between carbon and Z. This is single bond with O negative charge. So you will get this. And then from water, O negative will take proton and get converted into OH and OH negative. So the product formed in acid catalyst or catalyzed reaction also we are getting this product. In base catalyzed reaction also we are getting this product. So in both the cases we are getting this product. So can we point out the main points in the acid base catalyzed nucleophilic addition reactions? Yes. So whether the addition is acid catalyzed or it is base catalyzed, the product obtained is same. What is the role of the acid catalyst? An acid catalyst increases the electrophilicity of carbonyl carbon and hence promotes the nucleophilic attack, while a base catalyst increases the nucleophilicity of the reagent and hence promotes the nucleophilic attack. Okay, so now I'm moving to different examples of nucleophilic addition reactions. The first example is cyanohydrin formation. The addition of hydrogen cyanide to the carbonyl group of aldehydes and ketones gives cyanohydrin. You can easily write down the product. Here Cn negative is there. So on carbon Cn and single bond O with H. So OH and Cn. You see OH and Cn. This compound is called cyanohydrin. We can discuss the mechanism of cyanohydrin formation. The mechanism is a base catalyzed nucleophilic addition reaction. So we have discussed base catalyzed just now. So HCN, when you add OH negative into it base, so water is eliminated and Cn negative is formed. So now a stronger nucleophile is formed. Cn negative will attack on the carbon and the pi electrons will be shifting towards the oxygen. So C, Cn, single bond O negative. So single bond O negative and Cn. And then O negative will abstract proton from the water and gets converted into OH. And so cyanohydrin is formed. So it is a simple base catalyst mechanism. You can easily write down this mechanism. These are the 3 steps which are involved in this mechanism. Now cyanohydrins are important compounds in organic synthesis because you can prepare very important types of organic compounds from this. For example, this CN group, cyano group, can easily be hydrolyzed to acid. So they can be readily hydrolyzed. If you take water in presence of acid, CN get hydrolyzed to COOH, 2-hydroxy acid or alpha hydroxy. This is acidic group. So this carbon is alpha carbon, OH is present here. So you can name it as either alpha hydroxy acid or 2-hydroxy acid. Okay. Not only this cyano group can also get reduced to CH2NH2 by using hydrogen and platinum. So the catalytic addition of hydrogen to a cyanohydrin produces a primary amine. You can see it is a primary amine. If it is alpha carbon, this is beta carbon. So at beta carbon you have OH. Okay. So these are the 2 important compounds which you can prepare from cyanohydrins. Now the second is acetal formation. What are acetals? Alcohols are added to carbonyl group of aldehydes in presence of acids to give acetals. As you can see here, 1 molecule of aldehyde react with 1 molecule of alcohol. In acetals, 1 molecule of carbonyl compound reacts with 2 molecules of alcohols to form acetal. Now, when 1 molecule of aldehyde reacts with 1 molecule of alcohol, the medium is acidic. So, acid is used as a catalyst. You know, you can easily write down the mechanism for this. But can you write down the product? Yes. In ROH, what is nucleophile? RO negative. Okay. So, on this carbon, you will have OR attached to this carbon as a nucleophile. This is single bond and OH. So on this carbon, R1 and H are already present. OR as a nucleophile, single bond OH. So just see R1CH, OR and OH. This is hemiacetal. Hemiacetal means halfway. Why it is halfway? Because till now only one molecule of alcohol is added at the aldehyde. Now another molecule of alcohol will add at hemiacetal. But these hemiacetals are unstable, so they immediately reacts with another molecule of alcohol to give stable acetal. What is acetal? The OH is getting converted into OR. So this part will remain as such. In place of OH, the R will come here, so it is OR. So hemiacetal gets converted into acetal. Now we will see the mechanism of conversion of hemiacetal to acetal. Let's see the mechanism. So hemiacetal, as the medium is acidic, so the OH get converted into OH2 positive. This is called protonation of oxygen. So oxygen get protonated. So oxygen will attain positive charge because oxygen is neutral, and when it takes proton, so oxygen will get converted into O positive, OH2 positive. And since oxygen being electronegative cannot have the positive charge, so what will happen? The lone pair of electrons on oxygen of OR will be shifting towards in between the two, carbon and oxygen, and this bond moves towards oxygen. So this part goes out as water molecule. Here you will have double bond, and this oxygen will have positive charge. So oxygen will have positive charge, double bond, and water goes out, gets eliminated. Now in the next step, the alcohol molecule will attack. So the lone pair of electrons available on the oxygen of the alcohol will attack at the carbon because it is acting as a nucleophile. It attacks at this electrophilic center, and the pi electrons will be shifting towards oxygen. So now what will be the product? This is a single bond. Oxygen become neutral, so it is OR. C single bond and OR. There is a bond between carbon and oxygen, so C, O, R and H. Oxygen is neutral and it is giving its lone pair of electrons, so it will attain positive charge. So you will get this. I think you can easily write down this structure. So it is R1CH, single bond OR, single bond O, positive R and H. Okay. Oxygen being electronegative cannot have the positive charge. So what will happen? This H goes out as H plus. How? The sigma bond will be shifting towards the oxygen. H goes out as H plus and O become neutral. So you will get acid. So this is the structure of acetal. I hope this mechanism of conversion from hemiacetal to acetal is clear to everyone. So next, ketones do not form ketols with monohydric alcohol. Monohydric alcohols means alcohols having one OH only. So one OH group is there, as we have seen the reaction between acid and aldehydes to acetals. Ketones do not form ketols from monohydric alcohols, but readily react with 1,2-glycols. What is 1,2-glycols? That is the diols. Diols means a compound containing two OH group, and both the OH groups are present on the adjacent carbon. So C1 and C2. So the two OH groups. They give cyclic ketones. This reaction is shown not only by the ketones but aldehydes also. So glycol condenses with aldehydes or ketones under similar conditions to form respectively cyclic acetals or cyclic ketones, which are called 1,3-dioxylanes. Now, if aldehyde reacts with glycol, you will get cyclic acetals, and if ketones react with glycol, you get cyclic ketones. See here, this is simplest glycol. You can see two OH groups between C1 and C2. At C1 one OH and says C2 one OH. So it is ethylene glycol. Reaction with ketone, this O and H goes out. So one H from here, one H from here and O here. This goes out as water molecule. So CH2O with carbon, CH2O with this carbon. So CH2O with this carbon, CH2O with this carbon, and R1 and R2. This is cyclic ketone. If instead of ketone it is aldehyde, then you can decide R1 and R2 accordingly. If it is aldehyde, then if it is formaldehyde, both the R1s will be H. So here you will have H and H. If it is aldehyde, then one of the R1 will be alkyl group and another will be H. So you can write down the structure for cyclic acetal also. So this is the reaction for acetal formation. Now third, addition of sodium bisulfite. Sodium bisulfite adds to aldehydes and ketones to form the addition products. Simple, you can easily write down. This is carbonyl compound, Na positive, HSO3 negative. So here the nucleophile is this HSO3 negative. So the carbon with SO3H, nucleophile has formed bond with the carbon, and this is single bond O with a negative charge, and Na positive will get attached to it. This. Okay. Now in this case, there is a proton transfer. Sulfonic acid is a stronger acid. So it will release proton and it will take proton. So it will release proton, so gets converted into SO3 negative, and this H positive will get attached to O negative. So you will get OH here, and here SO3 negative, so Na positive will come here. So it is OH, SO3 negative, Na positive. So this is bisulfite addition product. Okay. For most of the aldehydes, the equilibrium, as you can see, it is equilibrium reaction. So the equilibrium lies largely to the right hand side. That means you get the product when the starting material is aldehydes. But for most of the ketones, due to steric hindrance, the equilibrium is more towards the left hand side. Now these bisulfite addition products are usually crystalline solids. When these products are heated with dilute mineral acids or aqueous alkalis, they decompose to regenerate the original aldehydes or ketones. First, you see how these bisulfites get converted into aldehydes and ketones. Then I will explain you that how you can use this reaction to purify the or separate the carbonyl compounds from non-carbonyl compounds. This is the bisulfite addition product. When you treat it with dilute acid, when you heat it with dilute acid, you see the carbonyl group is regenerated with NaCl, sodium chloride, sulfur dioxide and water molecule. These are the side products, byproducts. Similarly, when bisulfite addition products are heated with NaOH, then you get carbonyl compound plus sodium sulfide plus water. So these are regenerated. And therefore, as I told you, you can use this reaction to purify and separate aldehydes and ketones from other non-carbonyl compounds. How you can do that? Let us take a mixture of A and B, in which A is a carbonyl compound and B is a non-carbonyl compound. In this mixture, you add sodium bisulfite. When you have added sodium bisulfite, the carbonyl compound will get converted into bisulfite addition product, which are crystalline in nature. So A will give crystalline bisulfite addition product. You can easily separate the solid. So you have separated the mixture of A and B, as A which is carbonyl compound is getting converted into solid. So you have separated that solid, and that solid, from that solid you can regenerate the carbonyl compound by heating it with either the dilute acid or aqueous alkali. So this is the way how you can purify and separate the aldehydes and ketones from other non-carbonyl compounds. So this is importance of this reaction. And now the last reaction with Grignard reagents. Aldehydes and ketones react with Grignard reagent to form addition products. These products on hydrolysis with water or dilute acids give alcohols. I will show you the reaction in my next slide. So aldehydes and ketones react with Grignard reagent. I think all of you know what are Grignard reagents. Grignard reagents are RMGX. They are Grignard reagent. So aldehyde and ketones give alcohols when they are treated with Grignard reagent. And that which type of alcohol is formed? The importance is that from carbonyl compounds you can prepare any type of alcohol, primary, secondary, tertiary, using Grignard reagent. And it depends which alcohol will be formed will depend upon which aldehyde or ketone you are using. If you are using formaldehyde, you will get primary alcohol. Any other aldehyde, means aldehyde other than formaldehyde, you will get secondary alcohols, and if you start with the ketones, you will end up with tertiary alcohols. Now let's see the reaction. So this is Grignard reagent. In case of Grignard reagent, alkyl group will have partial negative charge and magnesium will have partial positive charge. While you know, in case of carbonyl compound, carbon will have partial positive charge and oxygen will have partial negative charge. So this R negative, this is acting as a nucleophile. So this R negative will attack on the carbon and the pi electron density will be shifting towards the oxygen. Now this carbon is already having 2 hydrogen atoms to it. Alkyl group will now attach to it. So this carbon will have 2 H and 1 R. And this is single bond O with the negative charge. O is having negative charge, Mgx is positive, so you will get OMgx. So see here, on the carbon you have OMgx, 1 alkyl group and 2 hydrogen atoms. Okay. And then when you hydrolyze it in the acidic medium or when you treat it with dilute acid, what will happen? This OMgx bond will get cleaved. H will come here, you will get OH and Mgx goes out as Mgx and OH. Okay, so you get OH. Now this is primary alcohol. I think all of you know how to name a primary alcohol. The carbon to which OH group is present, if one alkyl group is attached to it, then it is called primary alcohol. So on this carbon to which OH is attached, only one alkyl group is there, so this is primary alcohol. Okay, so you can easily prepare primary alcohol by using Grignard reagent or treating Grignard reagent with formaldehyde. Okay. Now, if you treat Grignard reagent with aldehyde, here I have marked this R as red just to explain that this R comes from the Grignard reagent. So R having partial negative charge, nucleophile will attack on the carbon with a partial positive charge and pi electrons are shifting towards oxygen. So this carbon is already having one R and H and this another R will get attached to it. So this carbon will having 2 R, 1 H. These 2 R can be same or they can be different. This is single bond O negative and Mgx positive will get attached to it. So OMgx. So R, C, H, R and OMgx. Again, next step, hydrolysis in acidic medium. OMgx get hydrolyzed to OH and MgxOH goes out. So here you have carbon with 2 alkyl group OH and H. Now this carbon is secondary alcohol because the carbon to which OH group is attached is having 2 alkyl groups. So it is secondary alcohol. And now you can easily find out that how the tertiary alcohol is formed from the ketones. See here. This is ketone molecule. This is Grignard reagent. Partial negative charge will attack here. Double bond will shift here. So you will have R, C, R, R and OMgx. And then when you hydrolyze it in acidic medium, OMgx gets converted into OH. So the tertiary alcohol is formed. So as I told you, Grignard reagent, the reaction of carbonyl compound with Grignard reagent can form all the 3 types of alcohols, primary, secondary and tertiary. I hope the concept of nucleophilic addition of carbonyl compounds is clear to everyone. Thank you for watching.